if she got kids? Is this live stream or
Yo,
is this live? Oh, sorry.
yep.
Oh.
My bad. We hopped off into the double dutch, man. My quick draw McGraw on my fingers like that. Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Ray on PharcydeTv with my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
And a very special guest. You know what I'm saying? Long lost cousin. Nah, I'll just mess with y'all.
We can't folk.
Jared Quan Campbell. What's happening with you, man?
I'm good, man. It's Jared Quay Campbell. People always mess that up, man. You know, it's all good though. Jared Quay Campbell, man. I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate you.
Tight. So the relationship between sports and hip hop.
I mean, who was it? Drake said it best. They want to be us and we want to be them. Ain't that it?
What song?
What song Drake said that? I forget what song he said. And I mean, you know, you seen Drake. Drake definitely wants to be an athlete. They done had him in a Kentucky Wildcat outfit.
Man, he want to be a cheerleader.
Y'all fool.
You know what?
That's for real.
Obviously, you're both an entertainer. Every kid's dream is to become either an athlete or a rapper or, you know, a musician. The biggest difference I've seen personally living in LA and also knowing a bunch of athletes, athletes are way richer. They make way more money. Like obviously Drake, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, big name rappers make a lot of money, but your backup point guard makes way more than anybody on ASAP Rocky's team. Like,
I know you ain't lying about that. That's the facts. You know, actually, I just looked up something. Who would you guess is the highest paid actor? Obviously this list floats, but it's something that you don't even think about.
Man, like Robert Downey Jr. or something like that?
Nope. Give up?
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld, man. Of all people, bro.
Syndication?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, man. I mean, I was just thinking like the top of this entertainment field, like who's of this acting field, you know what I mean? Like who, because you just try to think, of course, you got people like Denzel or, you know, you think Will Smith. There's so many people that come to mind before Jerry Seinfeld, man. So that just goes to show you how these scales are like all over the place when it comes to like money and talent. No offense to Jerry Seinfeld, but you just wouldn't even expect that.
I can honestly say that if somebody said, Greg, I'm gonna wire $5 million into your account tomorrow morning, if you name one character on Seinfeld other than Seinfeld,
damn,
and I would not be able to pull it, man. I wouldn't.
Damn, you're right. We ain't cousins, man. $5 million, you dropping the bag.
Yeah, you guys on the bag, bro.
He like Google.
That ain't worth that one. You can guess one of those, man. I know you, and I know you know Kramer, so you can't even play like that, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you tripping, bro.
All right.
You playing yourself. How were you introduced to hip hop?
Oh, this is me?
Yes.
Oh man, that's what we grew up on, man. I feel like that's all I knew. I didn't know about no other music, man. Tupac, when I was a kid, Tupac was the biggest thing out there. We was on that gangster rap, Bone Thugs and Harmony. When I first got of age, I was like, yo, this is it. That's how I was introduced to it. And I realized as I became, I don't know, people blur the line between rap and hip hop, but as I became more like educated and got up the ladder, I started to fall in love with more people who were saying things deeper in their lyrics. Obviously, Jay-Z probably hands down is my favorite. But like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, people like that, they start moving up. I mean, I like the, you know, ratchet stuff sometimes. Gangster rap kind of fell off. I don't really listen to that. I bump it in the car, but I think I got introduced to hip hop when I was in elementary school, and that's all we did. Me and my brothers, we wore little Tasmanian devil shirts where he was all sagging pants, and we just listened on Walkman to rap, bro. We used to burn CDs and tapes, and we re-record them and had all the rap, both sides. You know, the Tupac hit him up on one side. I'm 6 years old, bumping hit him up, man. It's a life I was living when I was a kid, bro. Straight up gangster shit.
Well, what would you consider gangster? Because you kind of mentioned that, like, you limit your gangster music. What's considered gangster music? Because I've had some pushback on this.
If your rap's about killing people, if you have to reference killing people or doing illegal activities as the like bulk of your tracks, I would put that in the gangster rap category.
Mm.
So if you're doing any movie, any music about cooking up drugs, you know, catching bodies, gangster rap.
Reason I said that is because this is an old conversation, but you know, I was talking about you know, I listen to Nas, whatever, and a few other rappers, and it was like, nah, man, I'm talking about gangster rap. And I was like, it is gangster. It's like, nah, man, I'm talking about like that Chief Keef and Waka Flocka, that hard shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
I mean, I guess that's not gangster rap, that's gangster life. Like, hey, they really living it. You know, if you're really living it, I guess it's a new level of gangster rap, you know?
I mean, you're supposed to really live it until you go on the witness stand, and then it's called snitching.
And they use your lyrics. They use your lyrics in the courthouse. They push play. They play that song. This is what he did.
It's like, did you catch a body on Fifth in Lenox? Yes, ma'am.
The 10 crack commandments, man. You really think about that? Like if you was on the style, like you couldn't even like beat the case if you had a rap song like that.
Yeah, man, this game.
Man, you know what? A lot of people don't give him his props, but I won't say the first gangster rapper, but I'll put him in the top, probably about the third or fourth gangster rapper. Kool G Rap, man. Kool G Rap. Yeah. Do your research, y'all.
Yeah, no, Kool G, man. We old niggas, man. What you talking about? Kool G.
I look over, but I don't know who the hell Kool G.
You don't know Kool G Rap? What?
Nah, is that somebody on
No,
my
they just
household name?
Oh, you tripping, man? They did the verses with dang, what's it name? KRS-One. Are you serious?
Nah, man, that's the one I skipped, man. Either
Oh, that's the one.
KRS-One is better for conspiracy theory videos on YouTube right now. I'm not really.
I'm actually not a big KRS fan, but Kool G Rap, man, that's crazy, man. You without Kool G, you don't get your Jay-Z's. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, oh yeah, it's a domino effect. Honestly, I mean, when they say, what is it? Curtis Mayfield is the first gangster rapper. Who's Pusha, man? I'm your Pusha, man.
Man, I guess you're right, man. I guess you got to Google out there.
that was gangster rap. Like you were talking about dealing drugs, and like you just made it. You know, he sang it, but that was the start of gangster rap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a hard one. I just say, dang, man, you don't know Kool G Rap, bro. That just
damn. I don't belong on this podcast, nigga. I got somebody else. I'm googling
it. What's your favorite genre of music?
Man, obviously it was rap growing up, man. But I feel like as you get older, man, you start going to college and meet different friends, and you start realizing there's other music out there, man. I mean, obviously, still to my heart, like rap probably is the biggest genre. But I've been opening up my ears, man. You know, R&B obviously been big, since you know it's how you get your girls get cool. But honestly, I've been listening to rock and roll and all kinds of weird things now, man. I think I'm going to Bonnaroo this year, so I realize I'm opening up my ears, but. Okay. But honestly, yeah, I would say overall, hip hop is still my favorite genre of music.
That's dope. That's dope. Your favorite hip hop movie?
I mean, does Belly count? I feel like Belly got to count for hip hop movie. Belly's a classic, yeah. Belly, honestly, I don't even think it really had a plot. It was just, it was rappers doing great stuff, and I was just, as a kid, obviously, it's a lifestyle they live in, but. Like Belly was 90% just gangster rap songs personified, and in the last 10 minutes it was like, you know, the biggest woke movement. It was that's a plot twist right there when he gets in there. He dropped one of the best speeches ever in the middle of a rap movie. Like I love it.
Yeah, they both were being themselves in the film. Like I don't know where the acting came in. DMX was being a hardcore gangster, smashing all these chicks, then reformed, found God, and you know, Nas finally went to Africa. Yeah, these both just being themselves.
DMX really blended the game. DMX was the first rapper that could do gangster rap with a prayer in it. Like and now you see it too much. Now it just be literally, I seen YG at the end of Toxic, YG just goes into prayer. And I'm just like, I don't know how you can go from there to there. I don't understand what's going on. But now I feel like prayer and gangster rap go hand in hand.
I actually want to make a list because there's quite a few rappers at this point that have made a turn for gospel just out of the blue. I mean, you talk about from MC Hammer, Snoop, DMX to even Kanye. It's like it's just at a certain point in your career where you need to sell more records. You turn to God after talking about reckless stuff.
Or you might need God. You know, you get to a certain level of fame, you be alone, and you might need it. You like, you gotta make some better music.
But yeah, but then they go right back to the other stuff, so it's confusing. But you're right.
That's because the gospel album never sells big. Like nobody's best album is their gospel album. I don't even know what Snoop's gospel album sounds like, honestly.
Man, it was weird. It's called I think the Bible of Love. I actually went to the Steve Harvey show and he was the guest, and we all got a free copy of it. And it was weird. It was weird. But what city did you grow up in?
I grew up in, if you know it, you know, I grew up in Aurora, Colorado. You got to know the area. I say Denver, Colorado, everybody else, because nobody knows about Aurora. Aurora is, honestly, it's a lot rougher than people think. Like, I kind of grew up in the hood, but people are like, you from Colorado, ain't no hood. But it's definitely dangerous. A lot of people get shot out there because, you know, they more or less, in Denver, you know, we see things on TV and we personify them. I got a friend that was a Crip, but his dad was a doctor. So it's just, you know, real weird.
So they got gangsters in Aurora?
Oh, they got, I mean, now it's nothing but gangsters. It's dangerous. I wouldn't trust, if any of y'all went to Aurora, I'd be like, y'all just stay in Denver, man. Don't go out there right now.
I heard y'all got 5 golf courses, 2 reservoirs, 97 parks, and 5,000 acres of open space.
That's what they trying to gentrify it. They didn't turn the cemetery into a goddamn golf course.
That's funny.
Nah, so when was the first time you realized you could make people laugh?
I mean, I'm the youngest of 8, man. I feel like I survived. That was my defense mechanism. I didn't, you know, I didn't have to always, you know, win things with hands. I had to get out of situations and be smarter. And, you know, just competing for attention. You know, I had to be funny to make sure I get my space at the table, you know. So I've been able to make people laugh since I was young. When I started to do it seriously, is like right around my senior year of college, where I was like, maybe I could try to like do this. But I've always been funny, always been, you know, different mindset, the way my brain see things. But I've been funny since I was little, been doing it professionally since junior year of college.
What was the soundtrack to your junior high school? Junior high school experience.
Junior high school was Nelly, bro. Nelly was the game changer, man. That was Nelly only had like a 5-year window. He was really, really hot, and that was like from 6th grade to about I would say sophomore year. And I was just, you know, everything. You know, we were St. Lunatics. We considered Denver part of the Midwest just because Nelly's movement was so hard.
Nelly is still one of the highest selling rappers of all time. And I don't understand because nobody bumps his stuff today.
You know every song though. Like if it came on, like DJs for like, if you're a DJ for a white wedding, you gotta have some Nelly on spin. Like you can't just, you know, Nelly's on playlists and you wouldn't go to select that in your car, but you definitely hear it in the supermarket.
He did that country record too.
Yeah. Was it Over and Over Again? I think
I have no idea. I just know I saw him on a stage in front of 100. I think he did Stagecoach, or there was something very big.
Yeah. No, in fact, he actually performed at halftime of the Ravens Sunday night football game. He did Hot in Here, and then he did 3 country songs. And I don't know if that's because he thought that's his NFL audience, but I was like, yo, where are the cuts at, bro? How you not gonna do no country grammar? Like, what are we doing here?
Hey, he was doing the cuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, him and Tim McGraw, man. I do think that was because you know artists evolve over time. I think that was him finally accepting that, you know, that was his because he was basically pop. I mean, even though, you know, I ain't gonna try to disqualify him as a rapper, but you know, he ain't got bars. You know what I'm saying? Nelly's not known for his bars. It
was a nursery school rhyme, man.
You ain't lying. His first hit songs, shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff, shimmy, shimmy, right?
Light it up and take a puff, pass it to me now. You can, yeah, you ain't lying. He was like he had what was the song? If you want to go and take a ride with me. Like that kind of had a countryist vibe to it, honestly.
Yeah, country grammar.
Yeah. So I I don't think the move in the country was a bad move, but he never really recovered from it. You know what I mean? Like after that, that was it. Except for
Yeah.
that I think his last song, good song he had that hit was with Rick Ross. That was it. And then he was relegated to feature verses.
He's still touring though. He making good money, man. People want to hear that country grammar still.
Oh, that's because we the grown people now, and they got that one tour that got all the people. Like back in the day, you could only get one of these dudes, or maybe two of them. Now you can get like 20
festivals.
It's like the greatest hits of 2001, all on one tour. It's like Shanti Ja Rule, like Fat Joe, like everybody on there. Like Snoop Dogg was on there 3 times. I saw Ludacris. I mean, you can't lose, man. I buy a ticket to that. Oh, for $10 you can get 20 artists.
I'm gonna call an audible. He mentioned Rick Ross. Who saw Rick Ross coming, man? I did not see that happening. And it was like it happened. And then it was like, you know, with the whole name thing, people were kind of like, but he could make good songs, man.
Yeah. You just said it. I think it was his music saved him because his gimmick was whack. And it not only was it whack, it got exposed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he made good songs. I say if Rick Ross is on the song, I think him and Jeezy, they was running side by side. If they were on a song, it's gonna hit.
Nah, but the thing about Rick Ross, people under he got a gangster rap vibe, but I actually think Rick Ross is spitting financial literacy rap. Like he literally is. He's helping people understand the business game. Like hustling as a song is really meant for people to get up out of bed like an alarm clock, wake up in the morning and get to the job money. Like it's not like your typical, that wasn't your typical drug dealing song. You know, that's your typical, whatever job you got, this can be beneficial to you song.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he keep them coming, man. Yeah. What job, speaking of jobs and hustling, what job have you had that gave you the best life experience?
I mean, honestly, NFL, does that count as a job?
Talk about it.
I got my first time getting fired was at the NFL, man. I was in the NFL for every bit about 12 weeks. And I mean, honestly, what you learned is just how it feels to be treated at the top. Everybody loved me. I ain't gonna lie. I never felt more confident talking to women than when I was a professional football player. I didn't need game or money. I just literally had the confidence where women would just be like, maybe I should give you my number. But just to humble you out, one time I was a bouncer at a nightclub for like a week, and I realized how much people just treat you invisible when you do that. Because I was hearing women just literally talking about who they're gonna sleep with that night right in front of me, and I'm just like, yo, they don't even acknowledge I'm a human being. They treat me like I am artificial intelligence, like I am behind you, man. And I'm trying to cut. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I think when it comes to, I think that was one of the first lessons I learned about Hollywood is be good to the door staff. You know what I mean? Because people always try to shoot for the big guy or whatever, but that dude, whoever that dude is, he busy. I don't care, the promoter or whoever, he busy. You know what I'm saying? And they treat the door guy like crap, or you know, just ignore him altogether. You know what I'm saying? But if you get cool with the door staff, you don't need a key.
There we go.
Don't need a key.
Scipio's gems right there, man. Put that on an Instagram meme, baby.
Maybe, but that's just one of the first things I learned, man. Dude told me straight up, like, chill out right here. And then we talked, you know, told me all about, you know, him needing to get a Mother's Day gift. And I was like, oh man, you should go here. Boom. Cool forever.
Yeah, yeah. And then the whole other part of it is the dudes at clubs know dudes at other clubs and whatnot. So it's like, man, they go, oh man, you know, I got my homeboy right here. He got woo woo woo. Yeah, always got to keep it cool, man. So from football to stand-up comedy, the first time you stood on stage, the first 3 separate words that come to mind when you think of your first stand-up performance.
Just like single words or like actual
single words, not a sentence.
Fright. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first time I got on stage, that's a feeling. When that light get on your face, I was scared, like, oh my God.
Truth.
I didn't even remember my name, basically. At the same time, besides fear, fright, honestly, adrenaline. I feel like that's what you're working off of. I don't even remember my first set 100%. I was like, everybody said I did good, but I think I was just going off of adrenaline and like extreme preparation. And last, man, one word, more or less getting off stage, man, was fulfillment, man. Honestly, in a weird way, like to get off a stage, if you sign your name up and all that fear, to get off and be like, man, I did something, I challenged myself. It's got probably the same effect as running a marathon. Like, damn, not too many people can do this, and I just did it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's dope. You know, I say it all through the different episodes, but I was a fan of comedy to a certain degree, and Jeremy had me come out and watch him, and it's different when you go to watch comedy and you buy a ticket and you sit down in the chair and you might have somebody with you and you're just kind of, you know, watching the show. But when you know a comedian and you get there and you're kind of, you're not feeling like anything is owed to you because you know you didn't pay any money. You just, or if you did pay money, it's maybe like 10 or 15 bucks, maybe 20. Mm-hmm. And for me to see these people get up there, and then the night was very interesting because for whatever reason, the first 2 or 3 comics that I saw, the audience was dying to laugh, but they just didn't pull it off, man. And I was just kind of like, dang, it's like going to a club and it's a gang of girls there, no dudes. And it's like, if you can't get a number, if you can't pull something from this, like, man, what are you made of? And Jeremy got on stage and he killed it. Now, this is the first time I saw Jeremy do comedy. So, but when I met him and he kind of told me his story, not that he was cocky or anything like that, but I just knew he was a good comedian. Like, I just from our conversation, I was like, oh yeah, he knows what he's doing. And so he got off stage and he was like, man, he felt that he was like, didn't do the greatest or whatever, but he got the party started. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then I said, you know what? This comedy thing is just something different. And then, for me, stand-up, I really didn't have a line between stand-up comedians and comedians that are funny in movies before Jeremy kind of pulled me into the world. I would think that a cat that's in movies, just because he's in a bunch of movies and he says these one-liners, like, oh man, this dude is hilarious. But then I had that dream crushed. You know what I'm saying?
So fame trumps funny. I promise you, people would rather see the guy who's in a TV show be terrible than a comedian that they never seen before kill. And it's so weird.
Yeah,
oh, absolutely. I mean, it's understandable. I mean, people, they like familiarity, and they also feel like they had something to do with that person being there. You know what I mean? So they feel an attachment. But yeah, nobody, they just be like, they, oh, you good? You going? I see it. I see it. I see you. You know what I mean? That's the end of that. The whole interaction's over.
It correlates the other way though. Sometimes you see people that are killers on stage. You get an opportunity in a movie, and they be like, they wasn't all that funny. Did they cut their funny lines? And so I feel like honestly, people who are funny actors on screen usually are probably better improv artists. Just because it's a different world. Stand-up is much more of like, I'm setting you up in my world to take you where I want to go, where movies, you got to deliver someone else's lines.
You're absolutely right. I'd say, I had a chance to, we had him on the show. I'm trying to say his real name, Reginald VelJohnson. That's Carl Winslow from Family Matters. We actually developed a relationship because his manager actually reached out to me to help him do stand-up comedy, and he wasn't about it, man. And I was like, yo, you got the chops, man. I grew up watching you be funny. He said, man, the writers did that. He said, I just put myself in place. He said, I come from theater. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an actor. I can make anything come alive. I can do drama, comedy, everything. But he goes, I always give praise to the writers. And I say that him telling me that over and over and over made me acknowledge that more. Like, it's great to give the actors love, but overall, it's like, these people are just good at taking direction You know what I'm saying? And you, like you said, improvising too, because you do make it something. But absolutely, yeah, it's not the same as, like you said, you are the writer, producer, actor, and when you're a comedian, you're like pulling people to your world.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. You just agree.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So tell us about your tenure with Yahoo Sports.
Boom, man. It was the best of both worlds. In all honesty, man, I played football from 6 to 21, 22. And then it ended. And then I started doing stand-up comedy for about 4 years before I realized, oh, there ain't no money in this. I mean, it's like you love it, but I'm like, oh no. And so I found a way to be like, how can I blend the two? And so I started doing funny skits with athletes and just kind of mixing those. And as I was doing it, I started putting my own show out there. I started catching attention where I realized, why I tell people, anybody watching, man, it's about the quality of viewers you get, not necessarily the quantity. Now, if you want to put a TV show and you want viewership for ads, yeah. But one of the people from Yahoo reached out to me. He was like, yo, man, we got a show we put together. We want to see if you want to come host it. And I mean, it's just been a blessing, man. I am 5 years later, and it's, I done did interviews with everybody from Eddie Murphy to Jerry Rice to, Deontay Wilder, just people I grew up being a fan with. MC Hammer teaching me how to do the dance. And it's just all that's a part of Yahoo. And so I got to give them credit. It's been a home team. They take care of me. They treat me well. And so, yeah, man, it's been a good vibe. It allows me to still do stand-up. And so, it's cool. I realize my fan base is more in the Midwest, though. Like people in LA be too busy in Hollywood, but I'm saying that Midwest, they be on that Yahoo. They know exactly who I am.
Hey, so when I met you, what phase of life were you in?
Oh, when I saw Jeremy killed it, man. He came to a mic when I was like, yo, I'm trying to get into stand-up. And he did stand-up so well. I'm like, yo, what movies can I see you in, man? Like, when's the special dropping? That was me about maybe like 6, 7 months, 8 months into comedy, like doing it full time. I was going to mics every night. We was at Bruco and I saw you doing it. That was me doing stand-up. And then finally, after about 3 years of doing stand-up, I was like, man, I got to do something with football. All my homeboys have got Bentleys and 3 kids. And here I am at an open mic at 3 o'clock in the morning trying not to get bit by a homeless person.
Man, you ain't lying. You're not lying. This is all factual information. But I know because you was telling your journey and you were saying that you played football first and then you did stand-up.
Yeah, well, I tried it when I was in college. I got on stage for the first time. But we would wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, do meetings and practice, and stand-up, you getting on at 10:30, 11. And it just wasn't working. So I did it for like 3 weeks in college. And then I had a bad set. I bombed. I took that L. And you're a new comedian. That L is enough to make you never do stand-up again. And then after I got cut from football, I kept working out, trying to get ready to keep playing. But I had all this extra free time. So I started getting on stage again. And eventually football stopped, but comedy kept going.
Mm-hmm. I'm still here.
Your top comedic influences.
Chris Rock was my favorite comedian. Like my first introduction to comedy is just Chris Rock specials. I'm like, oh shit. And then I stumbled upon Kings of Comedy, and that was like the funniest thing ever. That's when like Bernie Mac. And then, I didn't know nothing about that before. And then once I got into it, Dave Chappelle took the cake and ran with it. Like Dave Chappelle's what I would say is the best comedian. He's the GOAT. Obviously, you got to give Richard Pryor and what he did for comedy his respect. But like for me, like really being a comic fan and just what I know in the modern day, Dave Chappelle takes the cake. He's the best. The way he delivers, from even his evolution of being like a young comedian who was just telling stories that were funny to kind of being a substance guy now where he says real life stuff and finds a way to make it funny. Just that's my comedy influence. And so I try not to sound like him too much, but obviously like his timing and everything, that's where I kind of, my mind is, using him as like an influence.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, dope. So the great debate, Marvel versus DC.
Is that a great debate?
You guys are cruel on my DC, man. Y'all need to go easy. Y'all need to go easy like, on my DC, man.
It's like the great debate, the Patriots or the Lions. It's like, what?
That's funny.
Storyline over actors, DC got DC just doesn't have the power, in my opinion. They don't have the power that Marvel,
Power as far as what?
No, I'm turning into the interviewee here now. Hold on. How? In what way do you think that does Marvel have more money behind it?
Of course. Yeah.
I feel like
Production value, just all of it.
Marvel jumped them because they were making better movies. So yeah, now imagine you a Marvel movie got an endless budget for the B-level, C-level storylines. But originally, like DC, it took the cake. We were just talking about Skype and Zoom. DC is Skype, man. They had everything going for them.
Yep,
I mean, still to this day, the Dark Knight trilogy is technically DC, and that's some of the highest grossing movies of all time. So yes, what Christopher Nolan did. But outside of that, like honestly, I've watched some of them DC movies. Like, what the hell did I just watch?
What's the worst one?
I mean, honestly, Aquaman was terrible. That was
people love Aquaman.
I loved Aquaman.
Man of Steel people loves, and I'm just like, I don't know. They don't do it for villains. Villains don't do it for me.
Look at the shot. Wow.
Am I tripping? I'm sorry. DC ain't got it.
I think I was tripping,
the
man.
DC movie is Shazam.
You said first one you liked?
What's up?
You said that was the only one you liked? Shazam?
Shazam's DC, right? Or
yep. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was the one I guess didn't take itself serious, but I feel like every Marvel movie got like, I mean, Marvel does like their villains are kind of like standard people, but I think DC sets itself up where like their superheroes are so powerful that you can't put them against just an everyday villain, you know?
Yeah.
Black Adam.
Oh yeah, Black Adam's terrible.
What?
Yeah, man.
Are y'all trolling me, man? What's going on, man?
I haven't even said my opinion yet. I just like to, but yeah, man, I agree. Yeah.
Wow. Black Adam was good. Come on, man. I gotta change your last name, man. Come on, you messing up Campbell. Right, Black Adam's a good movie. All right, maybe. I hope I'm not insulting anybody. You wasn't a part of the filmmaking, was you? I don't want
to. Right. You messing yourself from opportunities, man. He was gonna cast you in Black Adam too. You was gonna be Blacker Adam.
Yeah, man. I think I'm gonna take that question. I'm gonna strike that one from the list, man. But nah, man. Black Adam was tight. Superman showed up and did a cameo at the end of it, and when the movie was like over.
I didn't stay for the post credits. Was that post credits?
You cold, man.
yeah, man. Black Adam. The biggest problem with the movie is The Rock. I don't know where he was taking his cues from, but if you know even a little bit about Black Adam, you know that ain't it. And that's just me being fair. You know what I mean? Like
the comic books do it justice.
Well, it's not even that it's comic book. He's not the most dynamic villain at all, but he has character, and The Rock had none. The Rock was playing The Rock without the charisma, which is why we watched The Rock in the first place. The Rock all about charisma.
The Rock's my guy. That's University of Miami. He came back several times. One time while I was working out, he was like, "Hey, good game there." And I felt like he was, I felt like, oh, we got a relationship. I'm being honest with you, man. The Rock is my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid. I don't know if there's one movie that's like starring The Rock that I love. Like there's like, I feel like as an actor, he's one of the charismatic people, but I don't feel like whoever's picking his movies or
Jumanji.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Jumanji's good. I don't know if he carries that though. I mean, the first Jumanji, I feel like Jack Black was the one that like carried the movie.
No, he did. He definitely did.
I'm not allowed to comment on this topic anymore. We love you, Rocky. That's one thing I'll say about that. Who's your favorite superhero, by the way?
I mean, Black Panther now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't grow up as big of a comic book fan, so I wasn't part of the Marvel universe via the comic books. But I mean, honestly, man, seeing the movies of Black Panther and what that stand for and the status of it just kind of, in a weird way, I was like, damn, Stan Lee was kind of woke. Like, even as he talks about, like, he made Professor X and Magneto kind of off like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Like, that right there is like, on a weird way, like, I rock with Stan Lee even more. That's why I rock with Marvel so much, man. I don't know how DC's even a question.
So you like the fact that he gentrified the black plight?
Yeah, I mean, it's just in a little bit. It's good to a point. Like he got us to the mainstream, Before that, all we had was Bruce Leroy. Now we got an actual big budget.
Yeah, he made Malcolm X and Martin Luther King white, and no, I'm kidding. But no, obviously, I think it's funny watching the X-Men movies because they'll have little quotes, and this is going to happen, and they're going to reboot it. It's going to happen again, but it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But they'll be saying stuff that's like specifically for Black people. They was like, they don't accept us, they don't respect us, but because of our talents and our gift, we're able to shine. It's like, okay, all right, we get it, you get it. Oh, you just want to use us, huh? We do all this stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? And what do? You beat us. No.
Literally, that's what I mean. Black people are mutants. He was about to name one of the mutants LeBron, but he was like, they said they're too close. What's the super? He can dunk on anybody.
Oh man. But yeah, Black Panther, man. Yeah. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of the greats, man. The greats of our generation, not necessarily within the age range, but as far as like he was our Denzel, like that. We just like as far as an actor, and I'm not gonna rant, but man, what he did with James Brown was incredible, man.
He played like every 4 minutes. He personified a lot of our great Black heroes, man. He was Thurgood Marshall.
That was the one that was too far. I ain't gonna lie.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson was good, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I feel like he was gone too soon. But if there's any like silver lining of it, man, he kind of gave a great performance. One of those things where I'm leaving y'all with something. I feel like what he did with Black Panther, it made it where I mean, obviously, we wish we'd have had him a lot longer, but he was like, I left with doing something, And so I like to look at things from a positive standpoint. That's what I'm like. Black Panther was his best movie. Speaking
of looking at things from a positive standpoint, what do you think of Black Panther 2?
Amazing. Kubrick on this, man.
Okay.
I thought he was dealt with a difficult task. I was like, they losing a star actor. Reboot sequels always they're never as good because you kind of expect the bar to be high. And so maybe I lowered mentally my bar for it. But watching it, man, I thought it was amazing. I thought the villains were good, believable. It was just one of the movies where like, dang, how did he do it back to back? Like it's, I don't know, like he needs to start doing a master class to the DC directors to be like, how do you bring this thing to life? How do you make masterpieces with how do you make squeeze all the juice out of
it? What I will say is that you guys had that Disney magic sprinkled on it, man. That high technology CGI and all that kind of stuff, man. DC.
Do you think it's a money thing? You think if you gave more money to DC, they would make better movies?
Oh, for sure, man. And the resources. I'll say the money and the resources.
I mean, they ain't bro.
CGI though.
I think they might have. I was gonna say they might have too much money. I think that's part of the problem.
Black Panther looks like Star Wars or something, man. It's like not even, you can't even really compare.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the problem. DC, you could tell that the budget is too high. That's why everything look all dark and mystic and all that stuff. Like, man, tell a good story. Now you got me on
Justice League.
Justice League was way too much. They did too much. They was fighting. You can't even. What's it? Steppenwolf? What does that have to do with these people, man? That was way too much.
Man of Steel had good CGI, but they was like, all right, how much? It was 20 minutes of them just fighting through buildings. That's literally like, that's not an under budget problem.
Okay, since it's Man of Steel, since we're gonna go there, I think Man of Steel looked good, and that's where it was like a 2-hour music video of Superman. It was like a trailer, and him doing Superman was great. Him being Clark Kent was irrelevant. So it just was like, what are we watching? You know what I'm saying? But y'all got me. Pull me in. Look,
riled you up. They had.
I wasn't even trying to comment on this, but yeah, man, DC. I think they need to focus on good basic storytelling. They don't need no more money. I say cut their budgets. Defund DC. Defund the police, defund DC.
I think that'd be better. If you cut their budget, they're gonna really make sure the script is solid. They're gonna make sure before they put their money into it. It's like we're gonna make sure we can't drop the ball at all.
Y'all cold-blooded, man. So on the bigger and brighter things. So your belief system, Jared.
Oh, you can. This is the podcast where y'all turn me into Jehovah's Witness. I'm here. I'm open for it. No, I'm joking. What do you mean by that question? That's a big question.
How does that play a role in like your successes, because you said you were in, you played football. So you went to college, you played football for a while. Then after that was over, you got into comedy, and then you ended up at Yahoo. Being a comedian, man, one of the things that, once again, Jeremy, seeing the other side of comedians, a lot of comedians, it's not an easy thing, man. Like mentally, it's not an easy thing. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of the cats, and it's like, they get up on stage and then they get addicted to that adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that some of the comedians that I've seen, and I know other comedians than Jeremy, but some of the comedians that I've seen, like, they go to work their stuff out, but then also they don't feel right when they're not on a stage. Like I consider Jeremy a working comedian, and by working means he does well at it. He gets gratification. He hasn't had the hugest break yet, but he's on a stage. Like, he's got to be on the stage. During COVID, he was hit when you wasn't supposed to hit stages. He was hitting stages.
I mean, even Sip, I'll say this, sometimes you see, when you see stars, a lot of people think where did this guy come from overnight? It don't work like that. Those guys all put the work in. And so people who know Sip, you can put him on any stage and he's going to hold his own. And that right there, once the break comes, once he does get one break, he's going to be built to last years, where, sometimes people get on that break too early and, it lasts for a couple of years. And so, that's kind of what I'm trying to build to. Don't get me wrong. I've been doing stand-up now for what, 11, 12 years now. It's getting to the point.
Don't say that, bro. Wow.
But it's just to a point where honestly, but I feel solid now. I feel like it, you see it and you're it seems like it's hard, but at this point you do it enough times where if it's new to you, it's definitely gonna be difficult. Yeah. But I can, I feel like I can hold my own in any room now. I feel more confident being myself. I can change a room to my vibe, I got a unique story. And I'll be honest with you, my audience is like Martin Luther King's dream. It's none but white and black people sitting together. So, that's you got to be a unique comedian to be able to do both rooms together like that. So it just takes time. And I feel like, the why you do it this long is to make sure that you build strong. It's like it ain't hollow. You're building it from the inside out.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel like your most iconic moment you witnessed?
As far as in the stand-up career, or how you saying this?
Anything.
Mm-hmm. Best feeling, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Getting your first scholarship from high school was big, man, because everybody's like, you gonna be that guy, you dope, you good, you got this. But when a coach is like, hey, I just want to let you know you got an offer to University of Washington, you got an offer to Washington State, you got an offer to Colorado, University of all that was it's fulfilling. It's almost like feeling that. So that was big. Starting my first game in college, because I went from literally 7th on the depth chart in spring to starting the first week of the season, my junior year. And that was a huge deal, because it's I was about ready to transfer. You know what? I don't care about football. So all that stuff's gratifying. I would say as far as my stand-up career, man, I performed at a couple of theaters now, man. I've opened up, I opened up for Gary Owens in Vegas in front of 4,000-5,000. I did stand-up live last time the Super Bowl was in Arizona, and that was about 3,500. So, that right there makes you feel.
Stand-up live? How's that much?
Not stand-up live. I'm sorry, celebrity theater. I'm saying stand-up live. I was talking to them, man.
Okay, I'm about to say, bro, that's
I told my guy Coleman. I was talking to Coleman. But celebrity theater, that was a 3,500.
Okay.
And weirdest stage ever. You ever did celebrity theater, Jeremy?
No.
It's a circle that slowly spins. And so,
oh, man,
learning stand-up is when people looking at your back, they don't think you're funny because they can't see the face. So you got to learn how to move the room. And I didn't know that at the time. So the people in front of me, you killed. Person behind me was like, oh, it was all right.
What I do, I'm not gonna say this officially works across the board, but with those, I'll tell the setup over here and the punchline on the other side, just so they feel involved. But you know, who knows, man? There's no way to tell how somebody interprets it. Somebody just don't like you. They ain't gonna like you from. They don't like you from the front. They ain't gonna like you from the back. So
Comedy belongs with a wall behind your back. All right, you need security. Doing comedy in a circle is like, in the middle of the restaurant. It's like going to the wall of the restaurant and sitting with everybody behind your back. It's like, it's not meant to be this way. I need to see and feel protected.
That is true, especially if somebody run up on you.
And these days with comedy, that happens.
Yeah, man, they ain't lying.
Jared Norman make a movie.
Bro, that was my first experience of understanding how all this works, man. Norman's to this day one of my best friends, man. That's somebody I know that rides with me. That was an ambition, man. Honestly, we decided we're gonna make a movie. We're gonna do Hollywood our way. We're gonna get this thing going. And we kickstarted, raised a bunch of money. And then you find out it's like, oh, movies take a lot of money to make, and I'm like, I was stubborn. I'm young. Like, no, we need to make a feature-length film. I don't want no short 10-minute film. I want to make a movie that can go in the theaters. And then we found out, oh, we only have enough money to make a short film. And so we did. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it. It's cool, man. We spent a lot of money on it, but it was a cool experience. I'm a terrible actor in it, but maybe that's just me watching me. Maybe somebody else watching like, boy, you the next Denzel. But it was an experience, man. We had a lot of people that we was trying to work with it because like it's kind of sad now. Like rest in peace, Teddy Ray. He had a big part in the original screenplay, man. Jack helped us out with it. It was a lot of things where like, so many people stars now, they kind of evolved it into a new lane. So it's cool, but I kind of wish we could have finished it to make it a feature-length film, but we made a little short film, 15 minutes. You can watch it on YouTube. But you get older in this game, man. Jeremy, you've been in the entertainment industry for longer than me, man. You realize, man, there's a reason why it's this way. You come and try to break rules, you realize there's a reason why the rules are there.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I just pulled it up. I'm gonna check it out again. I haven't seen it. Yeah, this is
big, man. Yeah.
Oh, 4 years ago, y'all done re-uploaded it. Cool.
Yeah, he had to put it on YouTube. We was trying to sell it for a little bit. We're gonna put it and see who wants to make more. He said, "Nah, we're gonna put it just on, get it out there."
Man, there's a lot of let's say what do you call it, development hell projects that just end up on YouTube. I mean, but when you reach that pinnacle, that's when this comes. Dave Chappelle, he has a show, sitcom he was on called Buddies. Do you know about that?
No, I ain't know nothing about it.
It was a spinoff of Home Improvement. And it was about him and this white dude, right? And it's a pretty corny, typical, sitcom of that time. But when the Chappelle show blew up, they took that same show, right? Packaged it up, put Dave Chappelle's name across it and try to sell it on the DVDs. You could buy it straight up. I was like, man, this is leeches, man.
Cold thing, man. Cold thing.
That's why I tell people when they do non-union work, I'm like, be careful, that commercial, they're paying you $2,000. When you get famous, it's going to be on TV every 15 minutes. You over there doing you want one of them Viagra commercials. You just with your
Hey, they're gonna come back for it. But yeah, what's your ultimate goal, or how would you like to be viewed in the long run?
Man, this actually hit me deep, man. I used to want to be like a comedian, and I love stand-up to the point that I don't want to have to make money from it. I feel like once you have to make money from it, it loses a little bit of its umph. And so, like, honestly, I want my own like nighttime show. Like I want to do a sports comedy show with athletes where they come on and, it's a thing where, I keep the locker room humor, but at the same time on a late night thing, like obviously I've bonded these two as my brand. I love stand-up though. Like I never want to not do it. I want to always be able to get on stage and go say what's on my brain and the art form of it. Like I think that's where you get to a point like when you craft some specials and like that becomes more of an art form, not like I need to make people laugh, but it's like, how do I want to make people laugh? And so I kind of want to keep those things going where like, obviously I want to lead with people like, I love that artwork, but I never want to get to a point where I'm like, I got to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma on a 3-hour flight to make these people laugh so I can make rent this month. Like that's.
Are you mocking me? I mean, what is happening here? Are you mocking me? What is this? I never want to.
Genius mind. You the reason why improv actors can be funny, man. You gotta steal with the pen, sip.
Yeah, and I also got to tap dance in order to pay rent. So what are you saying?
It's part of the game, though. It's part of the journey.
No, man. I like that though. But yeah, you know, and that's another thing too. I think when it comes to stand-up, I always view stand-up as a vehicle. You know what I mean? There's so many people. I was just on Price is Right recently, and
Wait,
you know,
you want some
Carey.
money?
Oh man, it's a long story. But I'm sitting there watching Drew Carey. He's breezing through this job. He's barely putting any effort in. You know what I'm saying? But that's the final destination of comedians. People like to go, oh man, if you're stand-up, then you have to be there. Oh, where's your special? Then you must be putting on special for the rest of your life. Nah, man, it's like that's the vehicle that gets you in so many, you know, you could be a Steve Harvey, going to, you know, well, that's also a game show host, but you know, like
He hosting Miss
producing.
America. That's
Yeah,
the pinnacle. I feel like if you're a good comedian, they should make whoever hosts Miss America should be like the winner of funniest stand-up. You know, like that's
yeah.
how they should give us the award.
I think literally stand up, you know, from writers to producers to, I mean, to me, stand up is saying like, hey, you have a great imagination. Like we need your ideas. We need you to write stuff for DC because apparently their writers don't have an imagination. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like.
Jeremy Cole.
Also, to bounce off that, man, stand-up is like, honestly, out of all the things I've done in my life, it's the hardest amount of work for the least amount of reward. Like, I mean, I know people think it's easy, but to be a stand-up, like you could tell this, you got to write your jokes, you got to get on stage. It's like a muscle. And I feel like in everything you do, like there's like a junior level of, you know, you in football, you get to college and, you know, there's like, you get some recognition. Stand-up, you don't get recognition in stand-up until you've hit pinnacle fame. Like there's no B league for this. There's no China NBA. Like there is stand-up is either you're famous or you are at a mic, you know?
Yeah. They moved the goalpost. There's no Super Bowl. Like, you know, it's like if you have to do the Super Bowl, you're like, we won. It's like, nah, you gotta do the Super Bowl. That's how stand-up is.
Yeah, man. Nah, man, that's yeah, listening to y'all tell it. I'm like, man, you know, one of the craziest things about stand-up that I've heard, I've never witnessed it, or if you know what, I probably have witnessed it, but I witnessed it as a consumer, not as a person kind of being behind the scenes. I hear the stories about guys getting bumped, and I'm just like, dang, for your ego, man, that just gotta like, you know what I'm saying? Such and such shows up, so either you gotta cut your set short or you can't even do your set, and then it's like,
Yeah, it's a big city thing. That's a big city problem. I mean, I'm at the stage
true.
now where I'm like, who coming in? Oh yeah, let him go.
Yeah, and you know, most times it's either understandable or you know, it depends on if you're making money or not. You know what I'm saying? If somebody
whatever you get bumped by like a TikTok star, like somebody you feel like you might be funnier than.
Well, that don't happen. I'm sorry, I don't see that. I just don't see it.
The clubs respect comedians more, but at the end of the day, like if you were working, like say you had a weekend booked, you know, that minimum money at, you know, so-and-so club in Des Moines, Iowa, and they were like, actually, we got a TikTok star here, so we don't need you this weekend, man. You know, you keep the deposit.
Well, I'll tell you where I'm at in my life and career, man. If I get paid regardless, so if somebody bumping me on my weekend and they want to do all the work, by all means, because my contract in place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, bro? Come on, yeah, give it up for you know, Baby Marshall, whatever the heck, you know, they're going by. Like, is, bro, that does not hit to my ego because
it would hurt me, man.
That's what my pockets is where.
If I got bumped for the guy who slaps his grandma, like he's famous because he's slapping his grandma, you know, like I'm just like, how is my art not more entertaining?
By all means, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. I don't have that issue, man. I'd be like, go right ahead. Like I said, now if you messing with my money, if they go, hey man, we gotta split your money, I'd be like, man, nah, we got the fist fight. Like, bro, like, I slap you. You know, no way. But yeah, but bumping, I mean, you know, I say like, you know, obviously like Chappelle or certain people, and a lot of times they'll say like, hey, if you got a problem with this, come talk to me in the back. We work it out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know, other than that, like, you know what I mean? I just say right now, it's about money.
I've heard stories though. I don't know if it was Jeremy or who, but you know, big comedians actually thank the smaller comedians, like, yo, man, thank you for letting me come and do my thing, man. I appreciate it, which I like, that's dope. You know what I'm
'Cause they
saying?
were us.
Yeah.
They were us. They know the game. They got bumped before too. It's just part of the game.
Yeah, now if it's some other stuff going on, like some people be having like undercover beef or something like that, or some people want to. I do know a situation where this comedian like said, "When is he going up?" Because I want to go up right before that. You know what I'm saying? Now that's the
You petty and more famous. That's terrible.
yeah, that person, they got called out for it too. But yeah, that's the one I'd be like, but I have yet to even see that in person or feel that.
So Jared, how did the pandemic play a role in your process? Do you think that you thrived? Was it the Kurt?
I did one Zoom show to know I ain't for the Zoom comedy. I don't know how people do that. Comedy is about filling the room. And I was like, I can't do this Zoom. I got lucky though, man. Obviously, my family got a little money now because y'all hear me in my bed. I got a bunch of notifications that came up.
I like how he's like, my family got a little money because
no, obviously my brother, he doing a little well. So I was able to go to Arizona and get a little more space. And so I was able to do it. And the weird thing about Arizona is Arizona shut down for maybe 2 weeks.
I heard.
It's been 2 weeks. And then they was like, you know what? We're gonna eat COVID. We know COVID can't survive in the sun. And they opened up. I remember I did a show at Stand Up Live with Damon Wayans Jr. And like they put up like these little glasses in between the seats. Yeah. It was like, COVID's in here. It's laughing at these jokes too,
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to continue getting up through the pandemic. I mean, obviously it was scary because you're all risking your life getting up. But at the end of the day, it was, me as a comedian, most people in LA, I knew, when you can't get on stage for a certain amount of time, it kind of gives you a little depression because, that's our livelihood. We need that energy.
Yeah, real quick, I didn't understand those glass windows because the way they set them up, they have like rows. I'm assuming y'all had it, and they have like a windshield, but then nothing on the side. And it's like it ain't the comedian on stage because like who's spitting that far? I can't spit 600 people back, so I never understood. That was just.
It was because you weren't supposed to be close to people, but it was, it's really.
It was sitting right next to people.
Clients, but it's
semantics, my man. Semantics, man. You
got
to make people
man.
feel.
I mean, honestly, they survived. Because a lot of places went out of business because of that. They're like something like that can, really kill a business. And so the fact that they were able to survive, man, you got to do what you got to do. Adapt.
Whole new world. What's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
Man, Steve Harvey gave me some advice, man. And then he went on to Earn Your Leisure and said the same advice to everybody else. And I said, hey, that was our secret, man.
Yeah.
He told me the game, man, and it actually helped me out so much. This is at a time where, like, honestly, I was struggling a little bit. He reminded me that it's called show business. He said, so many people overlook that. He said, it's show and business. He says, you got to have both. You're too funny, but nobody knows about you. You're going to have a great show with nobody to watch it. Too much business, you're gonna have everybody there and they find his suits and you ain't better make nobody laugh. So he said, you got to learn the business as you're working. And honestly, that's what I figured out. I was like, yo, how can I help people make money? That's what really comes down to. It's not about how funny can I be. How can I get butts in the seat? How can I get people to watch? That's kind of where I learned. And so things really started taking off for me with that, as far as money wise, but as far as like actual stand-up advice, Guy Torrey told me to read the book Comedy Insights, and I tell that to anybody when they want to get into this. Like that book can save you 4 years of lessons, written by Franklin Ajay. That right there was just a game changer, and the fact that he just gave me the book to read was actually.
Oh, he actually gave it to you.
No, he just told me to get it.
Okay.
I went and bought it myself.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to say that. I just, when he said actually gave the book.
He didn't have it on him. It's kind of weird. You walk around with the book. Hey, my brother, read this book.
You see it written by Guy Torrey. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a bunch of copies on like a Amazon gift card and be like, hey, scan your phone, baby. Don't see I didn't get nothing for you.
I remember. Yeah, actually, I just ran the Guy Torrey. What was it, Thursday? Yeah,
you gotta crack him up. I saw him.
Yeah, man. I got a chance to tell him. I'll tell a quick one. Yeah, he goes, so this is actually when I first started. I remember he was in Cincinnati. We both were in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was chilling with him in the green room, and he was mentoring me, telling me all this good advice and stuff. And he went on stage and he didn't like his set. So he get off stage and he was like, man, that was terrible. That was awful. And then the air, like people around was like, no, sorry. He was like, nah, fuck that. It was terrible, terrible. And I was like, I thought it was good. Man, he turned on me. He was like, he said, what do you know, man? You don't know nothing about comedy. You just started. You don't know what you're talking about. Yo, I was like, yo.
After a bad set, anything can set you off, man. I'm like,
he didn't even have a bad set.
If somebody have a bad set, you got to be careful. You got to speak to them like they got a gun in their hands. You got to be, hey, brother, everything gonna be all right. Calm down.
Hey, he didn't even have a bad
family. Think about your family.
It was a good set. I didn't think he was gonna go in on me like that. He was like, what do you know? Especially because I was, he asked me like, how's comedy for you, all that stuff. I'm like, oh, it's hard. This and that. When he came back, he was like, man, he said, you ain't working hard enough. That's the problem. He said, I was peeing on Martin. I was opening for Kings of Comedy, and I was running a show at the Comedy Store, man. What you do? You just do comedy. That's it. So I got a chance to tell him that story. And
that's good advice right there. He can start giving you the real authentic advice. You ain't doing a motherfucker.
I ran into him at the Comedy Store. I told him that story. He was already ready to deny it. He was like, nah. Then he listened to more. He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, that sound like me, man. Yeah. Oh, and then when you saying the telling the same advice, I remember when I first met Martin Lawrence. Martin's my favorite comedian, and I remember he was like, he was standing amongst a group of people. This is across the street from the Comedy Union. He was standing in a group of people. And he goes, I told him everything. I was like, yo, Martin, you're the reason I'm even standing here right now. Like, I wouldn't even be here, if it wasn't for you. He was like, man, let me tell you something. Put his arm around me. He goes, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. I was like, where? He goes, yeah. Then somebody else came up to him, the same thing. He was, hey, come here. Let me tell you something. Don't let nobody else tell you what you can't do.
That's my advice, bro.
And then I seen Monique on the TV show, and she was like, I just never forget the words that Martin told me. He told me, don't let nobody tell you. I was like, oh, he just say this to everybody. But at the time I took it, I was like, yo, that's real, solid information.
Well, you want to bring up being real famous. Think about it, man. When all them young comedians come to you like, hey, Jeremy, man, what's some advice you can give me? It's going to get hard to give each individual advice, man. You're going to have a catchphrase.
Oh, I told him, this is what I said. I said, man, you're going to hate this because I hate it when people told me, but it's the truth, man. Like, just stay in it. You know what I mean? Like, people hate that, but you go through so many things. There's no one cover-all advice. So I just be like, hey, man, no matter what, stay in it. And then, we can have that other conversation. Oh, yeah, have fun. That's it. You know what I mean?
When people ask me when you comedy, I'll be like, are you happy right now? They be like, yeah. I'm like, all right, don't do comedy. Just let it go, man. Let's sit this one out, balls. Go on vacation.
Oh, that's another thing. Gator, he just said, he goes, if you happy, you ain't funny, man. He goes, I don't care, man. He said, I don't know no good happy comedians. That's what he said. I was like, damn.
Happy comedians do improv.
Let's see. Yeah, actually, sure, it's my phone.
Yeah. So, what would be the name of your biopic?
Oh, I should already have it written out, honestly. I low-key mad I'm kind of think about it right now.
That's a good title. I know you should have it already. I should have it written out. By the time I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, that's the subtitle, man. I'm gonna do it like I'm gonna get you sucker. I think my comedy biopic would be, I don't know, professional little brother. I got 8 brothers, and I felt like that's the unique thing about me. I'm at an age now where I'm no longer young, but at the same time, I'm the youngest of my friend group. So it's weird. I know something y'all don't know, but at the same time, I can't keep up with the youth. Like I feel younger than all my brothers, but I can't remember all the acronyms before the rappers' names and the new, who was this MYB Millie and all these gangs they got coming on. So yeah, man, professional little brother.
That's fine. I like that, professional little brother. And since Chadwick Boseman's passed, he can't play you. So who would you have play you?
Damn, you know what bothers me? I feel like I worry about who's going to narrate it. I want a strong narrator, man. You got a good movie. A biopic supposed to be funny and drama filled. And I wanted like Morgan Freeman or like James. Like I wanted James Earl Jones to narrate it, but I realized if I don't get famous, I'm gonna have to get somebody young to narrate it. It's gonna have to be like Hannibal Buress or somebody narrating my movie.
You don't want Hannibal Buress. That's funny.
They don't make Southern black voices like they used to. Like there used to be a Southern black voice, a strong, oppressed voice. Your voice is deeper when you've been oppressed. You know.
What about Forrest Whitaker? He can, narrate something.
I looked up his. I was gonna repeat. He's only like 62. I don't know if that's just a Wikipedia glitch. I felt like I thought he was older than that. You look up everybody.
Wait, if he's mobile,
he can be 62. He graduated from my high school.
Yeah,
and he's about 10 years older.
Really, I don't know why. For some reason, he's just been old for so long.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people like that. But 60s, I still feel like you're mobile and active. I'm like 70s is when you start slowing down and you can't. I don't expect you to do everything, but I can see him being 60.
He's younger than Denzel, man. I don't know why. I feel like he played Denzel's daddy in one of the movies. I don't know.
Oh, that's Lawrence Fishburne and Cuba Gooding Jr. and yeah, Boys in the Hood. He was only like 2 years older than him playing his daddy. That was weird. It's like y'all went to high school together, bro. How you your dad?
Well, if I had to pick somebody to play me, obviously you gotta get somebody better looking than you, man. Who's the buddy from Snowfall? I need a British actor. I want my movie to be good. I want an actor from Britain to play me. I want somebody to change their accent. Damson Idris. I want him.
Damson Idris.
Ain't that his name?
Let me see. I don't know. I don't watch Snowfall.
Snowfall. Who is Laura Harvey dating him now? That boy good.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah. Okay. Let's see. I mean, all right.
Can I get a light-skinned actor to play me?
Man, you can do whatever you want. The dude Will Smith played, he don't look like him in Emancipation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he don't look nothing like that dude.
Boy, he was a slave.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't catch the after picture. You had to went to the barber and all that good stuff. He might have looked similar.
Man, in the picture, bro, he was like about 5'2". Will Smith like 6'10". Like, get the heck out of here, bro. Like, you can't be that.
That's weird because usually in biopics you get shorter, right? Just like you got the actor playing you ain't but 5'3".
That's because Will Smith said, "I want that role. I want that. I can be that." It was like, Will, this doesn't match. He said, "I can be that." That's he one of those dudes. I can make it happen.
He keeps having accents for movies. I don't know why. He always want to have an accent.
So in this movie, I did see it. I saw the premiere. It was the accent at first was distracting, but I say that I got used to it throughout the movie, so it wasn't as bad. It wasn't like Concussion. Concussion was bad.
But like his last 6 movies, he had accents. Even in the one he won the Oscar for, I don't know why he had an accent. Is Serena Daddy.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, that's Oscar bait, man. They like it. They like when you like transform, I guess.
That was a down south accent, man. Yeah. With a shot glass of speech impairment.
So this dude, he's good, but I don't know if he can grow a full beard. They're gonna have to do some work.
Oh, get out of here, man. I'm gonna shave my beard off just so I ain't always known for having a beard. This is right now, man. I shaved it one time and somebody said, "Don't do that no more." But I gotta get it back. I remember you without the beard, Sip. When you get a beard, it's kind of you just get used to being like this is. I shave my beard now. My face might be fat. I don't know. So I got
they do the same thing to me, man. They be like, "Yo, why you do it? Why you shave?" I'll be like, "Man, because my face was itching. I don't know." Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's a good one. I was gonna let me see.
Who's gonna play you? I just want to know. I know you probably answered this already. Who would play you?
Let me see. I did. I forgot who I picked, but I don't know who. I just thought somebody out there. Derek Luke. Was he busy?
I thought we was talking about age. He breaking the time-space conundrum now, man.
That's funny. A young person, I don't know. That's a good one.
Think about it. Your biopic ain't coming out for at least another 15 years.
I named it. I named it before. I forgot who I said though. You know what I'm saying? I know. I want Idris Elba to play my daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can be my dad. I can't think of who though. Dang, I have to go back and get it.
Yeah, I want Lawrence Fishburne to be my daddy. Lawrence Fishburne was such a good daddy in Boys in the Hood that I wanted to be my daddy in the movie too. He reminded me of my daddy though. My daddy was like that. My daddy was weird. My daddy looked like Lawrence Fishburne too. I just feel like he'd be perfect for it.
And who's playing Smooch? We already know the answer, but I just want to see if you who you say.
Oh, you mean me to answer that?
Yeah.
What's his name? Wood, the dude from Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yeah.
Well, Wood
Oh
Harris's brother. I
man,
forget his name. Chris Harris, maybe.
Steve Harris.
Steve Harris is
Yo.
gonna play the. He gonna win an Oscar for when he played the pedophile figure. That's gonna be his. That's gonna be his movie, man. That's gonna be the one.
And you know the funny thing about it, I saw something online a week ago, and they were like, "Have women forgiven him from that role for that role?" He straight kicked her out the Rolls Royce. Man, he did everything, man.
When you play a good villain, you can never go back to being a good person. I just promise you. Once you play a good villain, that's you.
Yeah. That's was it Lawrence Fishburne with Ike Turner. He was too convincing.
He actually broke free though. I feel like he actually broke free. He broke the Ike Turner curse.
Until he put a wig.
Helped him out. Morpheus let him out.
Hey, till he put a wig and sunglasses on, and you're gonna be like, "All right, bro, calm down."
Oh man, that was kind of funny. So, Jared, advice for your past self.
Ooh. Honestly, I can't really give too much advice because I realize all the mistakes are helping me out where I'm at. Like you realize it's all part of it. If I had to give myself advice, don't listen to Scipio say that, that he just started comedy and, y'all thought that was good. That was his ace work. No, I'm sure.
They thought I was an old comedian when I first
I
met
thought
them.
you
It was
was
like, you had
already
to been doing
famous.
this.
I said, when your movie come out, man? No. But real talk, if I'm giving advice to myself, which obviously means I'm giving advice to the audience, man, I would say, man, there ain't no shortcuts. And I'm a chronological trying to find a shortcut. I'm trying to figure out how to break the rules to get to the next level. And what you realize is, man, the reason why there is no shortcuts because you can't really be where you need to be without hitting all the steps. And so therefore, I save myself a lot of time not taking them shortcuts. And so, yeah, if you're watching this, don't take no shortcuts. When somebody they tell you this right away, they be like, in comedy, 10 years. You're going to take 10 years to get where you want to be as a comedian. That means you're going to be famous. You're just not going to really know who you are as a comedian until 10 years. And then my young self, I'm like, give me 4 years. And if I ain't big time, I'm moving to something else. And, here I am 10, 11 years older. Like, yep, take about 10 years.
I want to call a quick audible. Your tenure with the NFL. What now? I'm not going to get into the most expensive, but being a young Black male in the NFL on a scholarship, you're around cats that are super ballers, cats that have been around for a long time, long money. What's the craziest thing you purchased?
Ooh. So I went there long enough to make the millions. So it wasn't like I could be like, I bought a Bentley because I couldn't afford a Bentley.
Nah,
I wasted all the money I had, though. I will say that, man. I was at the club, he's buying bottles, just stupid things. And you got to realize it's a culture. Like now that I'm an adult and I've learned some things and also spend time where like, damn, I need to find some money. You appreciate it more. But I went to University of Miami where like all these guys would come back and you would go to strip clubs with folks and they just got stacks of ones. You could just grab them and throw them and like, making it rain is the stupidest thing ever. One time I did it. One time, I mean, actually, in the strip club,
one time I did it.
But like, we had a dude that literally in college, I ain't gonna say his name, but he would take his like Pell Grant money, the government assisted money. He would go get some ones and he would go in the middle of the club and just be and I look back now like, what are we telling our youth to have think this is a normal thing? But
I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's going right back into college. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's a cycle.
And I mean, who really gets the money on the ground? Like I learned my lesson the first time I was on my recruiting visit and somebody made it rain and I was like, oh, they got money on the floor. I started grabbing it. And my brother grabbed me, he said, boy, don't you ever let me see you picking the money off the floor, man. He said, I'll punch you right now for doing that. Because that's beneath us. And I have to realize, like, honestly, as I'm 33 and like, it's not. I should have picked up every dollar I could and put it in my bank account. Fuck all this pride, man. I need to. That is at least $700 on the floor right now, man. That is grocery money for the rest of the year.
700, bro. Heck yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say, if you could watch, if you could set up your dream versus, what would it be?
Musicians?
Yeah. Let's keep it music. Yeah.
Dead or alive?
Andre 3000 versus Andre 3000 versus E40.
Oh man, that's weird. And who you have?
Andre 3000.
Of course, it's not even.
Nah, but E40. See, I can tell, man. E40 got E40.
I
E40
feel
was
you.
independent. E40 is putting out an album a year for like the last 20 years. People is on sleep on E40's. Like E40 got
His
hits.
linguistics.
Yes. He created his
E4
own language, man. Come on, get out of here.
and he's actually, I agree. He's even responsible for a majority of, him and Too Short responsible for a majority of hip hop slang in general. But I don't think, I don't feel like he ever really broke out the Bay until like 2000, like whenever, like bitch, that was like the first like.
Nah, he was famous.
What
No, he was famous, but he didn't.
He was
reach
an
the masses.
OG when Tell Me When to Go came out. Like that was after he had already had like,
he had to slow his rapping down. When he slowed down and people could comprehend what he was saying, that's when he became popular. But before he used to rap fast. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be too much.
Yeah, how you gonna tell me about Cool G rap and you gonna tell me that E40 ain't a legend, man? Come on, man.
I didn't say he wasn't a legend. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't say he wasn't a legend. I'm just saying Outkast, Andre 3000 has made some of the most popular records of all time. That's not a fair match. You know what I'm saying?
But
you
like
can't.
at the end of the day,
you talk about heavyweight versus, E40 legend, but it's some songs that if that crowd is a mixed crowd, they're gonna be like, they're just gonna start nodding their head, be like, oh, this must be the new stuff.
I think Andre 3000, he's because he's kind of like a recluse. It's kind of like E40, you see him all over social media, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, that's E40, but it's like, man, Andre 3000 could just show up at a Starbucks and people start drones start flying over.
And not as fair, but he ain't got nothing for Hey Ya. You know what I mean? E40 ain't got nothing for Hey Ya, bro. It sucks.
I feel like once you play E40 is the kind of artist when you hear everything together, you were like, damn, I didn't realize he's that big. Like he's got songs, you're like, dang.
I mess with E40. I just think he needs somebody on, like Too Short E40. That's a good versus. You know what I mean? Andre 3000,
20 years, man.
They both been rapping, bro, and all the people. You know what I mean? Like, I even think putting them against Snoop might be slightly fairer, but not really. It's just too.
So you value Andre 3000 as like one of the best rappers of all time?
No, I just think it's unfair because of, and me personally, I actually don't, but I don't want to piss people off today. I just think it's unfair because his catalog is some of the biggest records. Like they have a diamond selling album. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just unfair. It's an unfair match to me. That's what I feel like. You know what I mean? I ride with both of them. E40 got respect. You know what I mean? He's a real rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
I'm gonna go Andre 3000 versus Harry Styles. I think that's gonna be fine.
Oh man. Yeah, that's funny.
Also, have the same pants on. Ironically, they're gonna have the same pants on. Y'all coordinated this? What's going
on? Going back to your ultimate goal, I meant to mention. Do you ever have any desire to be like Shannon Sharp or Stephen A. Smith or anything like that? Like to be like top tier sports analyst, pissing people off every week?
Well, Shannon's my guy. Like low key, Shannon is he's authentic. I think he's one of the few authentic ones, but. You realize like Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, those guys are in a weird way, they're like the first online trolls. Like they say things
they're the nemesis
to make you angry so that you pay attention to them.
Oh.
And so I don't think I ever want to be that, man. I feel like I always want to be authentic. I don't want to have to feel like I'm forcing you to watch me because you disagree with me. Now, if I stand on something you happen to disagree, I'm willing to argue all day. But I just don't ever want to become a person where like my backbone is twisted because I'm trying to get you to watch me.
Oh, I like that. That's a good metaphor.
So dealing with Yahoo, dealing with COVID, you said the Zoom comedy didn't work out for you, all that. How do you see social progression in the next 2 years? Just now that everything's kind of opened back up, but we're still kind of on the tit of technology.
I mean, honestly, COVID changed the game, man. I'm still, I mean, I don't think I'm never fully gonna be ready to go back home to work 100%. Like I come here because nobody else is here and there's more space, but this is home for me now. As far as social, like media, or just socially as people,
No, as people.
comedy is one of the things where I find like honestly, comedy is it brings people together. It's not for everybody. I met actually girls be like, I don't understand comedy. They just stand on stage and be funny. But I think the people who love it, man, it's the best date. It's literally it's live. I mean, in all honesty, I really think about stand-up, how much it did for like social progress. Like when you really think about it, I know Bill Cosby gets a bad rep, but Bill Cosby helped desegregate a lot of places. So comedy has always been a thing that it's big, and I feel like it's going to continue to do that. It's one of the few things that people like, I'll risk COVID to come see some comedy, you know. Movie theaters still ain't quite caught back up, but stand-up comedy is buzzing. So I think post-COVID comedy still is trailblazing as it always was. I don't think comedy's going anywhere. You can, as long as there's a microphone, you're gonna be able to get people to sit down anytime when it comes to stand-up. People will watch bad stand-up. I ain't never seen nobody watch bad music. You ain't never seen a rapper's first concert be buzzing, you know?
I like that.
That's dope. And another comedian where I saw his story maybe 3 weeks ago or so. But Dick Gregory, man, he has a hell of a story, man. I mean, he went from the civil rights situation to, he was overweight, and then he got into the whole bohemian diet thing, and then he signed the deal and had all that money and he blew it. Well, no, I won't say he blew it. I'll just say the money was blown. You know what I'm saying? And he had to just try to kind of change his whole trajectory. But yeah, Dick Gregory, if anybody's watching, Dick Gregory has a dynamic story, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Dick
Dick
Gregory in the movie. I'm actually working on it. That's why Sip was trying to tell me to trade a beer, and I said, nah, I got plans. Now y'all catching my real thing. He was like, what's my goal and what I dream? I want to be in a Dick Gregory story.
I was gonna say, man, I regret never being able to meet him, man. I think that's one of the ones, man. Him and Cosby. I want to meet Cosby. I mean, before it's
huh? You can still meet Cosby.
I actually have a good plug. I haven't used it, but yeah, I have a really good plug.
But yeah, and all honesty, this is the real thing that I think about comedy, because as I'm getting older as a comedian, sometimes like the jokes I used to do, jokes don't really settle with me well. Orson Welles got a quote. He's like, if you ever want to tell people the truth, you better make it funny or else they'll try to kill you. And I feel like when I see Dick Gregory and a lot of these old comedians, I realized that, they found a way to speak real life issues, but making it funny made it easier for everybody to swallow. And so that's why I felt like, some of these like that's when you like those stages where you're like, man, people really pave ways is because they like racial, like honestly, I think a lot of racial tension is eased by comedy. And so I really felt like Dick Gregory and even Paul Mooney. I know white people get uncomfortable watching Paul Mooney, but a lot of these people, they progress us by telling the truth through humor.
Real quick, what'd you think of Gerard Carmichael's Golden Globes speech or his hosting?
I mean, he did exactly what I think he's supposed to do. I mean, a lot of people got him heat because obviously we live in a different climate than what people did. But I mean, what I thought immediately was like when Eddie Murphy, before he announced the best picture of the Oscars, he was just like, I got no black people to win this, man. What's going on? They only want me to do this because Eddie Murphy and black. And I realized like you have to kind of acknowledge the fact this elephant in the room. Like he was wrong. I'm here because I'm black. And obviously he deserves it because he's funny. But they were like, how can we not get the Oscar so white, Golden Globe so white type of title by, sometimes even to this day, I'll be like, I got to thank the social rights activists and, even the Black Lives Matter movement for helping me get my job at Yahoo. Because they was like, how can we not seem racist? Let's get a black host. And, it opened a door that they probably didn't have open originally.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, now Gerard, he did his thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Rothaniel special, I thought that was unique. That was the one thing I was like, I've never seen a therapy session and a stand-up special at the same time. And so,
I like the fact that he was talking, especially to the black women like that. I was like, to me that interaction was like authentic, at least my perception.
It was the most authentic. At one point, it was like, is it prepared or is he just up there being honest? It felt like
he had to be. Like I say,
prepared. I feel like he was just up there being honest.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think a mixture, but I'm saying the part where because the lady was actually asking questions, whatever. I forgot. But I say the realest moment was when he said black women, they're not upset because I'm gay, but they're supportive when they find out I'm gay, but then they get upset when they find out that my boyfriend's white. And
I was a little upset. He was like, "You got a white king," and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on." I like the set until he said that. Wait a minute, don't say that. That's an oxymoron. I'm just, man.
Yeah, that had me rolling. And I understand like people like that's not a joke, that's not funny, but I just like the interaction. The interaction to me was so gold that I'm like, it take me out of the fact that it's a stand-up set. And I appreciate that
amount of vulnerability, honestly, like to be literally just in front of the whole world naked like that is kind of, it's admirable.
Yeah. Yep, got an Emmy for it. So yeah, they agree.
Yeah.
With that being said, man, Jared, I really appreciate you tapping in, man. This has been a good one. I can appreciate everything that you had to contribute, with the exception of the Marvel bias. And
man, I don't know why you so. I mean, I know we ended this show, but are you on the payroll for DC? I feel like it's almost like you like the IOTAs. It's one of he must be repping hard for his team. Like, I don't understand how DC caught you. It's okay to be a Marvel fan.
Wow. No, man, DC, I like the underdog, but honestly, I like the darkness of it a little bit. I never was into comic books that much as a child, but I like dark movies, and I like comedy, and I like dark movies. And I feel like DC just brings that's what they come with.
In a weird way, I mean, I know but in a weird way, I feel like their best films, I don't even think it's DC. I mean, in a weird way, like the Joker movie wasn't a DC movie per se, but they used the character and personified it so much. Their Batmans, like the Batman and obviously the Dark Knight trilogy, are like their best work. I feel like when they try to become superhero movies, I'm just like, get out of here. What is this?
Oh, man.
And that's been great. Yeah, I think I'll strike that from the list of questions that we'll be asking future guests.
Oh no, we got to, man. We got to hear the opinions of more people.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. I really do. This has been fun, honestly, man. And just see us as Black folks coming in here and having good conversations. Just chilling is real fun, man. If you guys are watching and you want to support me in anything, I got a show called The Rush on Yahoo Sports. All my social media would be very beneficial, and it's free to follow. So, just follow me. It don't cost you $1, but it will make me some. And if you guys happen to be in Super Bowl or Arizona in the week of the Super Bowl, which is the 8th for my show, would be Wednesday the 8th. I'm performing at House of Comedy in Phoenix. And so if you want to check it out, I'll be funny. I'll be there, and it'll be a good time.
So you, Jeremy, you got anything coming up? Something we need to check out?
I'll be at February 8th. I'll be at Phoenix, Arizona, at the House of Comedy with my boy Jerry.
Yeah.
If that's still on the table. What else is coming up? You know what? That's pretty much it. I'll be at the Comedy Store this weekend, but tomorrow I'm at. I got 2 shows, Pasadena. Was it Barney's Beanery in Pasadena and Rita's House, downtown LA. But this weekend, I say probably Comedy Store Friday, Saturday. Other than that, Phoenix, Arizona, February 8th.
Good time.
Yeah.
Well, no, man. Thank you, guys. This has been another episode of Splendid Radio on PharcydeTv.